Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. On last Thursday, February 5th, 2026, President Trump announced the launch of TrumpRx, the website that he and his aides have touted for months as a platform aimed at lowering prescription drug prices. The website, which uses technology from healthcare company GoodRx, displays the cash prices, that is, the prices available when paying without insurance, for certain drugs and directs patients to other sites where they can buy the therapies. From the White House to Wall Street, from patients to policymakers. This move is being hailed by some as the dawn of a new era in healthcare affordability, and questioned by others as a bold gamble. So, what exactly is TrumpRx, and how might it reshape the system? Let's take a closer look. For decades, prescription drug prices in the United States have remained stubbornly high. According to data from 2022, Americans pay significantly more for medicines than people in most other developed countries. The reason lies in a system long criticized for its inefficiency, one with no government-imposed price caps and little direct negotiation over costs. Pharmaceutical companies set prices based on what the market can tolerate, not necessarily what patients can afford. The result: the United States now has some of the highest drug prices in the world. Millions of Americans have been forced to stretch their prescriptions, cutting pills, skipping doses, or abandoning treatment altogether. But the real price problem runs deeper than manufacturer costs. Between the factory and the pharmacy counter sits a web of intermediaries, pharmacy benefit managers, wholesalers, and insurers, each adding markups, each reducing transparency, and each taking a share of the profit. Pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, are often seen as the shadow players in this process. They negotiate rebates with drug makers, but frequently keep those savings rather than passing them on to patients. Wholesalers add distribution fees, while insurers impose formulary restrictions that further limit consumer choice. By the time the drug reaches the pharmacy shelf, its price may bear little resemblance to what the manufacturer originally charged. Take this example. If a manufacturer sets the factory price at $100 after passing through PBMs, wholesalers, and pharmacies, the patient may end up paying anywhere between $300 and $500. Ironically, the public often blames greedy drug companies, while the true price inflation happens quietly within the layers in between. It's precisely in this context that TrumpRx emerges, a government-backed effort to bypass the middlemen altogether and link patients directly to drug manufacturers. According to the White House, the official TrumpRx.gov website will launch in early 2026. The goal is straightforward: to let Americans buy medicines directly from pharmaceutical companies, cutting out PBMs and wholesalers in the process. The core idea is summed up in 4 words: direct access, direct savings. In partnership with Pfizer, for instance, patients will be able to purchase medications at roughly half the average retail price, and for some drugs, discounts may reach as much as 85%. Even more importantly, the platform promises total price transparency. No hidden fees, no mysterious rebates. Patients will see exactly what they're paying for and where every dollar goes. Pfizer's participation marks a significant milestone. Under its agreement with the government, the company will offer prices on TrumpRx that match its lowest prices in other developed countries, a striking departure from the long-standing pattern of Americans paying more for identical medicines. In addition, Pfizer plans to invest more than $70 billion in U.S.-based manufacturing, research, and innovation, creating jobs while strengthening domestic supply chains. At the White House launch event, President Trump, Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla, and FDA Commissioner Marty Makary appeared together to announce the plan. The president called TrumpRx the beginning of a new chapter in affordable healthcare, vowing to end the decades-long trend of Americans footing the bill for global drug prices. Bourla expressed hope that more pharmaceutical firms would join the platform, while Makary pledged that the FDA would streamline approval pathways to support this new direct sales model. For consumers, the process will be simple. On TrumpRx.gov, users can search for medicines, compare prices, and confirm eligibility for discounts. Once they choose a product, The system redirects them to a verified manufacturer's website for secure purchase. The medicine is then shipped directly from the factory to the patient's doorstep, bypassing the middle layers that traditionally drive up costs. The biggest winners could be uninsured Americans or those burdened by high out-of-pocket costs. For them, TrumpRx might transform unaffordable treatments into accessible options. For example, the menopause drug Duavie could cost as little as $30 a month through TrumpRx, compared with over $200 at retail pharmacies. But the platform has its limitations. For most insured Americans, the impact may be modest, as negotiated insurance prices can sometimes match or even beat TrumpRx discounts. And since all purchases must be paid out of pocket, not counting toward deductibles or insurance caps, patients with chronic illnesses might find the system less convenient. For now, Pfizer remains the only company on board. Whether TrumpRx grows into a true industry-wide marketplace will depend on whether other manufacturers, like Johnson & Johnson, Merck, and Eli Lilly, decide to join. And while the discounts sound dramatic, they're still based on list prices that were inflated to begin with. Even at half off, some drugs will remain expensive. Experts are divided on what this means for the long term. Some critics say the policy sounds promising, but doesn't address the root problem: the dominance of PBMs and the lack of reform in the insurance formulary system. Without tackling those, they argue, change will remain limited. Yet FDA Commissioner Makary is more optimistic, describing TrumpRx as an important step toward affordability. If the program scales, he believes it could set off a ripple effect across the entire industry. Still, if the platform gains traction, it could pressure PBMs and insurers to renegotiate contracts, rethink formularies, and redefine their role in the value chain. As more companies join and competition grows, prices could fall further, potentially accelerating the pace of reform. As patients and as citizens, our role is to stay informed, compare prices, and demand accountability. Because only when everyone can afford the medicines they need can we say that true reform has been achieved. That's all for today's episode. If you found this story insightful, remember to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on healthcare and policy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.